Hello everyone, going to do a video now about marketing your gardening business. I'm no marketeer. I'm not saying that I've got all the ideas and all the answers, but I'm going to run you through some of the ways that I've promoted my business, market my business, get my brand out there, so to speak, and also some of the ways that I don't. And you may or may not disagree with some of these ideas. If you do, if you want to have a debate, if you want to talk about it, if you want to share some of the ideas that you've got and inspire others, help each other out, drop it in the comments below. That's what these videos are all about helping each other. Hopefully this will motivate, inspire you, help you make some decisions that you have been bouncing around in your brain, and in doing so we can all help further each other's businesses, help each other make the profit that we deserve, and ensure that gardening as an industry as a whole is earning the kind of money that it should do, and we're not all out there trying to undercompete and outquote each other. So how do I promote my business? Well, kind of take it back to the very start, which was about 5 years ago when I got started. One of the very first things I did was get myself a logo, and I used an app called Canva, a website called Canva, C-A-N-V-A. There's a free option to use it and there's a paid for option to use it. The paid for option is something like $9.99 a month, so you could pay for it for a month and then stop using it, get everything you need done in a month. But all that paid for option is going to do, and you'll find out if you check it out, is give you the option to use some other templates, some other logo kind of inspiration, logo templates and shapes and fonts and things like that. You don't have to go for it, but you can. It also allows you to create bigger designs if you're trying to do anything bigger. But to create my logo, did it completely free. It's really simple and straightforward app to use as well, so have a little play on there, get yourself a logo if you haven't got one already. And then from there you can create things like business cards, and that was one of the first marketing materials I created. It's really cheap. You can get a few hundred printed for maybe about £10, which is a great way of testing the water, really, because you don't want to be splashing out on hundreds of pounds for this, that and the other straight away, especially if you're doing the design element yourself. You know, that's probably not your background, it's not mine. So we're going to make mistakes, we're not going to get things right straight away. And if I take my business card as an example, I'm on like the 4th or 5th revision of that already, 4 or 5 years down the line. In fact, all those revisions happened within the first year. Just getting it right. You don't want it to be too crowded, you just want your logo, quick summary of some of the services you offer, the ones you really want to get people contacting you about. Don't put everything that you could possibly offer on there, it'll be too much, and your contact details. But when you get that through, and it's a really cool feeling if you haven't done this already, to get something tangible in front of you like your business card and have a look at it. But when you get it through, you might decide, you know, it's not quite lined up right, the space in there is too small, too big, the writing, the font is a bit too small, too big, and you'll soon get your business card right, your design right, by seeing it in the flesh, because it's always slightly different on the screen to what it is when you get it in person. But I think a business card, really cheap, affordable way to dip your toe in the water and get yourself going. The other thing you can do, which is free, you can do this straight after you've watched this video, if you haven't already, of course, is get yourself on social media and create a Facebook page, a Facebook business page, not a profile, not a group, a business page, completely free. And this will help you to promote your services locally. You can go onto local groups. If people are looking for any kind of gardening work, you can drop a comment, tag your business page and say that you're willing to help them out, pop around, provide a quote, that sort of thing. And on your Facebook profile you can put photos and videos and all that other information. I've got a whole other video about using social media to promote your business, so check that out as well if you're interested in understanding a little bit more. And again, I don't know all of the answers, but a little bit more about how you can use Facebook, Instagram, TikTok and LinkedIn. A whole video about that. Third, Google business profile. Now, you don't need a website to have a Google business profile, but a Google business profile is a really important thing to have. If people are on Google looking for gardeners, garden maintenance, tree surgeons, fencing, whatever it is that you perhaps do, and they're typing that in, you can potentially rank on there without having a website, simply by having a Google business profile. And the Google business profile will also mean, if you've put an address in, and it doesn't have to have a number in there, so if you don't want to put your home address on, or if you're based out of a lockup or something like that, you can just put a road name on, a locality. It will mean your result will come up in that little map section of the search results, which is something people tend to look at because then they know how far away you are and how local you are. They're probably going to want a local provider, and that map will be local to wherever they're searching, and you'll pop up there. On your Google Business profile, you can put descriptions of the services you offer, all of your contact details. You can link it to a website if you've got one. You can put photos, to say that, photo services. But most importantly, one of the best things that I think you can get out of a Google Business profile is reviews. Now, obviously, you've got to deliver a good service. You've got to let customers know that you've got a Google Business profile. You can get a link which you can send to them, and that will take them straight to the page they need to be on to be able to write a review for you. And with that Google Business profile, then you're going to build hopefully lots and lots of positive 5-star reviews. And when people are looking for someone to deliver a service for them, or they're checking you out, seeing a whole bunch of positive 5-star reviews is going to really help them to believe that you're the right person for the job. So get that Google Business profile and then start encouraging people to leave you reviews on there. We've currently got over 50 on It's Mo Time, and they're all 5-star. Really proud of that, and that means that we're one of the highest, if not the highest rated gardening service provider locally. Certainly the only one with over 55 stars, I believe. So yeah, that's a great thing to have and definitely helps you to build some trust. What did I go for after that? I went for a website. That's kind of a much bigger investment, but I think definitely delivering a return for me is something like £300 or maybe £350 a year to keep the domain name, so it's motime.co.uk, have the page hosted, and then also get a bespoke email address. So rather than it's motime at Hotmail, at Outlook, at Gmail, it's my name, Daniel, at itsmotime.co.uk, and that gives a nice professional look if people are contacting you that way. And then of course on a website you can have all your different pages, the services you offer, the portfolio, a little about us page, contact us page. I use GoDaddy. There's lots of other website service providers out there that you can use, and they're all very similar. And with GoDaddy is kind of a wizard website builder, and it really is quite simple. I mean, I'm okay on computers anyway, but I think even if I struggled, I would find this quite simple and straightforward. It's not much more complicated than building an old MySpace page or putting things on your Facebook profile. Really, you literally go on there. What do you want to create? Home page. What content do you want on there? This title, that subheading, this bit of content. And sorry, I'm going to mute this other phone over here. And then you can start adding other pages, other pictures and whatnot, and before you know it, you've built a web page. The hardest thing is getting started. So just once you've got the ball rolling and your ideas start flowing, maybe check out a few other websites. Check mine out, www.itsmotime.co.uk, and kind of use them as a bit of a template. There's no harm in doing that. Obviously don't copy all of the wording word for word, but it'll give you an idea of the kind of content that you need to have on there. Let me just move myself out of the sun. And away you go. And then you can start really getting into it if you want to do search engine optimization and things like that. A lot of people pay for that. I haven't paid for any of that, and my website a few years down the line is ranking on the first page of Google results and ranks #1 most of the time on that map result as well. So I think simply by creating a half decent website, lots of keywords around what we offer and where we offer it, that's going to help, because people are going to type in where they are and what they're looking for. So hedge trimming, Bromley, garden maintenance, Beckenham, talking about my locality here. Those keywords are all on my website, so Google looks for that and then ranks you. And I think getting those reviews on the Google business page is probably helping as well. I'm no expert. If you know more about that, let us all know in the comments below, but that seems to have worked for me so far. Beyond that, I got my truck sign written. That was actually a bigger investment, but in a sense it's a one-off, or at least it's going to see me out for a good number of years. Paid under £500, got a big logo on the front of the truck. I've got 2 big boards on the side here, which they have put lots of information onto these thin metal boards, which has gone onto the boards I already had. And they're essentially like giant business cards, and I actually created the artwork for that using Canva as well. I believe the place that I've got my truck sign written at redesigned it, repurposed what I provided them, but it meant that they had the design. I didn't have to pay them to design anything. They just retweaked it to make it fit with their systems and work on my truck. So yeah, big logo on the side, list of things we offer, contact details, less than £500. I think it's going to last me at least 5 years before the logos perhaps get faded, or I sort of scratch them up too much going down country lanes, whatever it may be. So that's £100 a year. I think that's a fantastic way to promote yourself. You know, if you're working locally, you're parked outside people's houses regularly, you're travelling the area regularly, people are going to see you, and it perhaps makes you a little bit more approachable to them because they know that who they're approaching in a sense and what that person's offering. And of course, if you're away from your truck working in the back garden, something like that, but somebody comes by and looks at the front garden and thinks, yeah, that looks really nice, these guys are doing a good job, I see them here all the time, they must be working really hard, I think I'll give them a call. They can just snap a picture of your truck, it's got the contact details on there, or your van, and get in touch with you that way. So you're just a walking driving advertisement board, aren't you? Or a parked advertisement board if you're in the supermarket or down the shops or doing a school run in your truck as well. Having a uniform, I think, is a nice way to get your branding out there and look a bit more professional. It isn't strictly marketing, but it is kind of brand awareness if you've got your logo on it, and helps you to look a bit professional. And I have been standing in the line at the supermarket to pay for my shopping before, and someone's seen my uniform, asked me if I'm a gardener, got chatting with them, and then asked me for a business card, which I always keep a few of in my wallet as well. So in a sense, it's going to deliver marketing value for you. Something else that I did that you might want to try out if you're not sure about these bigger spends just yet is a yard sign board. So that's a big board. Normally you'd stick it to a pallet or a bit of wood because it's quite flimsy in itself, but a nice big board that promotes your service that you stick in the front garden. You see builders and alike use them all the time. I had a few of them years ago. I had a couple of them years ago. Didn't cost me too much, maybe 30 quid, something like that, and I got 2 of them for that price. And I used to use them for a little while, and people did stop and take pictures or did approach me off the back of it. But having them on the back of this truck, bashing around and having them outdoors and whatnot, they have a certain lifespan. But I did get a bit of a kick out of doing it. It was really, you know, it was before I had a uniform and other things like that. And again, it's a bit like the business card. When that comes through and you see it for the first time, you unbox it, you're at home, I was just really happy to see it. I was really pleased. I remember setting it on my sofa and just standing back, taking a look, taking a picture, sending it to friends and family, and it got me really excited. And it was a nice way, as with the business cards, to just test out your design skills, dip your toe in the water a bit more, and just see what things start to look like as you blow them up. So not something I do anymore. I think I've got, you know, the business card, the website, the sign written truck, and all of those things. I think I've got enough going on. I don't really need the yard sign board, but I don't regret getting them. It wasn't a big spend, and it was quite a cool thing at the time to do. Something else that I've done in the past is use Google Ads. This is a really good way, perhaps if you have done everything else I've already done, but you're looking to grow your business. Maybe you're taking on an extra staff member, setting up a second truck, maybe you're going into a new avenue of gardening, so maybe you do lots of garden maintenance, but you want to do some fencing, or maybe you want to start doing some tree work, as long as you've got your qualifications, your tickets for that. Whatever it might be you want to expand, or for whatever reason you might want to expand, you might have a few gaps in your schedule, and Google Ads I actually think is quite good. You're going to need a website for it, but you can then get a Google Ads account, go on there, set a budget. I used mine a few years ago. I haven't used it for a while now, but my budget was like £45 a month, and it was getting me quite a lot of leads. The cost per click varies depending on what the person does. So if they just quickly go on your website and dip out again, you'll pay a cheap amount. But if they go on your website, they browse, spend a bit of time, click the phone number or fill in a contact form, Google tracks all of that and charges you a bit more because it's a hotter lead. But I definitely got some work out of it, and I was also able to target my work not only by geographical locality and demographic, which seemed to really deliver. It didn't go outside of the remit that I set, but it delivered on what I was looking for as well. So I particularly used it when I grew my business into trees. So I got myself some chainsaw tickets early on, and then I took on a tree surgeon as a member of staff so we could go out and do lots of tree work together. And so I started using Google Ads specifically to market for tree work, because it doesn't just mean your website will rank highly, it means your website link will rank highly, but what it's described as can be anything you've decided. So are you looking for a tree surgeon, or get your garden ready for summer, fences in your local area? You can decide what that's going to say, and then a description underneath it. So it was really good bespoke way of marketing your business. Let me know if you've used Google Ads and if you've had similar experiences or maybe different. So now I'm going to quickly run through some of the things that I don't do, and maybe you'll disagree. Please have a little bit of a discussion in the comments, because as I say, this is all about sharing information, and I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just going to share my reasons about why I don't use these. I'm going to start with Facebook ads off the back of the Google ads. I've looked into it and it just doesn't seem to target as it should, which is a real shame, because Facebook must have so much data. They could be targeting, you know, so specifically, but it lets you pick things that are quite specific. And then what I found is it wasn't happy with the catchment size it found, so I might have narrowed it down to a 3-mile radius, because I don't want to be going too far. Maybe a 5 mile, but you know, 3 mile would be even better. I don't want to be traveling too much, don't get paid to travel. Demographics, blah blah blah, and it was like maybe 3,000 people, and it wasn't happy with that, so it expanded on all of the things that I'd chosen and made the catchment bigger. So before I knew it, it was looking at me going from one side of London to the other, and I'm not interested in doing that. It's not going to pay. So I just don't trust Facebook. I've not gone through with it. I don't trust it to target the people I want to, and you've only got to scroll through your Facebook feed to see that Facebook doesn't target with ads as well as it could. I've often seen services that should be delivered locally popping up on my Facebook feed from people who are 50, 100, 200 miles away, and occasionally I feel a bit bad for them when I'm actually messaged, which probably cost them 50p or something, but I've messaged them to say, hey look, just so you know, I'm all the way over here and your ad is appearing on my Facebook page, so you may want to tweak the settings or think about where you're spending your marketing spend, you know, check out Google Ads or whatever it is. A few other things. Leaflets. I don't use leafleting. I believe that it's better for a customer to come to me than for me to go to them, and so if I'm walking around putting leaflets through doors, I'm going to them. And I know that some people feel it's a bit dodgy to get a leaflet through the door, so that's my thoughts on leaflets. Perhaps if you really want to build a nice little garden maintenance round in a very localized area, you know, maybe a few roads or something, so you literally garden hopping while you're doing your job, that's a good thing to have, and I could see how leaflets might help with that. But I can also see the negatives in putting leaflets out there in terms of people not quite trusting them. So what do you think about leaflets? Let me know. Websites like Bark and My Builder, you pay money to bid on jobs that are advertised on there. Basically, you're not necessarily going to win the work, and for me, I don't want to spend that kind of money on jobs that I'm probably not going to get. And the feedback that I read about them websites is usually the jobs aren't that great. The customer has decided what it's going to cost. That's a bit of a red flag for me, and often the cost or the budget they set is way below what it should probably be. So they want a whole 100-metre lawn turfed for like 500 quid or something, and your materials are probably going to cost you more than that, let alone your labour. So why would you pay to potentially win a job like that? Anyway, again, maybe you've had different experiences. The website seems to be doing well, so someone's winning out of it. Let me know what you think. And finally, local magazines. I know a lot of people that do use local magazines and do get some business from them, but they're just not something that I particularly look at or am very aware of. There's online magazines as well. So yeah, what are your thoughts on that? The only reason I'm not using them is because I don't use them. Personally, I don't go on there if I need a mechanic or something like that. I just go on social media and look for people who've been recommended on there mainly. Hence why at the very start of this video I've said social media is one of the #1 things you've got to get yourself on. So that's how to market a business, at least from my perspective. If I've missed anything out, if you've got any other ideas, drop it in the comments below. Let's all help each other out. Let's make sure we get what we're worth. Let's do well at gardening. See you next time.